1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headline: the finance minister says the government is focusing on enhancing exports and revenue collection to achieve an inclusive and sustainable economic growth. The Special Assistant on National Health Services says the government is working to further ramp up the COVID vaccination drive to meet the target of 500,000 doses per day. The chairman CPAC authority has said new projects of roads in Balochistan upon completion will not only enhance connectivity but also improve access to Iran. The World Health Organization has announced the World No Tobacco Day 2021 award for Pakistan for its effective anti-tobacco steps. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has urged the United Nations Council for Human Rights to send fact-finding team to assess the deteriorating health conditions of the Kashmiri political detainees languishing in Indian jails. Iran says a 3-month monitoring deal with the International Atomic Energy Agency for providing access to its nuclear sites has expired. And now the news in detail. The Finance Minister Shaukat Tareen says the government is focusing on enhancing exports, revenue collection and other administrative measures to achieve inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad today, he said the recent indicators show an economic growth of 3.94%, but unfortunately deliberate attempts were made to make these statistics controversial. The finance minister said the government paid special attention on targeted sectors like housing, agriculture and export-oriented industry, which led to economic stability and growth. He said if the pace continues, 5% economic growth is expected next year and over 6% by 2023. Shaukat Tareen said long, short and medium-term strategies being evolved in 12 sectors. He said price stability is the top priority to bring down inflation and provide relief to the people. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on National Health Services, Dr. Faisal Sultan, says the government is working to further ramp up the COVID vaccination drive to meet the target of 500,000 doses per day. Talking to a private news channel, he said mass vaccination is the only way to fight the COVID virus. Dr. Faisal Sultan said Pakistan has achieved another milestone in its vaccination drive as the cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country crossed the figure of 5 million. He said the government is continuously reviewing and monitoring the vaccination program at the highest level to protect the most vulnerable population groups in the country from COVID-19. The World Health Organization has declared the number of COVID-19 vaccine doses being administered in Africa as tragic. Addressing a meeting of the African Union on access to vaccines against the COVID-19 pandemic for the African continent, the Director General of World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, said Africa has so far administered just over 25 million vaccine doses, or 1.5% of the doses given worldwide. He said the World Health Organization is working to bring immediate solutions for equitable distribution of vaccine doses. The Minister for Religious Affairs, Dr. Noor al-Haq Qadri, says the Saudi government has allowed 60,000 people from all across the world to perform Hajj this year under strict COVID standard operating procedures. In a statement, he said the intending pilgrims will include 15,000 locals and 45,000 from other parts of the world. The minister expressed the hope that Pakistan will also get a quota in the 45,000 international pilgrims. He said the intending pilgrims of the age group between 18 to 60 years will be allowed to perform Hajj this year, and they will have to produce fitness certificate of good health. He asked the intending Pakistani pilgrims to get ready as per the directions of the Saudi government. He said authentic corona vaccine certificate and PCR negative test will be mandatory. The minister said Pakistan has requested the Saudi government to approve China-made anti-COVID vaccine as well as to facilitate Pakistani intending pilgrims. The chairman, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Authority, Asim Salim Bajwa, says the work on 103-kilometre-long Nawkandi Mashkhel Road has been started and the design of Mashkhel Panjgud Road is in process. In a tweet today, he said 200-kilometre Mashkhel Panjgud Road will connect N40 with N85 and M8 western route linking Chaghi Nawkandi sector with Gwadar. Asim Salim Bajwa said these projects will open the entire route, the entire remote region, and improve access to Iran. This is Radio Pakistan. The World Health Organization has announced the World No Tobacco Day 2021 award for Pakistan for its effective anti-tobacco steps. This was announced by the World Health Organization Regional Office for Eastern Mediterranean. An official of the Ministry of National Health Services said Pakistan has grabbed the global award after significant work on tobacco control through policy making. He said the World Health Organization has confirmed that the international award will be given to Pakistan's Ministry of National Health Services on the occasion of the World No Tobacco Day on the 31st of this month. The official said the country has set a target of reducing the number of persons consuming tobacco products by up to 30% by 2025. The Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Farrukh Habib, says minorities are playing a vital role in the development of the country and the problems will not be ignored at any level. He expressed these views during his visit to Samnabad Church in Faisalabad today. Farrukh Habib said it is the responsibility of the government to protect basic rights of the minority communities, which would be ensured at all costs. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference and other Hurriyat leaders and organizations have urged the United Nations Council for Human Rights and other international human rights organizations to send teams to assess the deteriorating health conditions of the Kashmiri political detainees languishing in Indian jails amid the deepening COVID crisis. In a statement in Jammu, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference Secretary Public Relations, Advocate Davinder Singh Bahal, deplored that political detainees are without basic amenities and medical care. He reiterated the All Parties Hurriyat Conference's pledge to carry forward the legitimate struggle for Kashmiri's inalienable right to self-determination to its logical conclusion. In India, the opposition parties, Indian National Congress and Nationalist Congress Party, have slammed the Narendra Modi government for pursuing Gujarat model of governance in the country. Senior Maharashtra Congress leader Anant Gadwal said the Gujarat model of governance on which Modi came into power in 2014 stand exposed amid coronavirus outbreak. The National Congress Party leader Nawab Malik said announcing a vaccination drive when there are no vaccine doses and people are dying due to lack of oxygen will not be accepted by anyone. Iran says a 3-month monitoring deal with the International Atomic Energy Agency providing access to nuclear sites has expired. Talking to state television, Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bakir Kalibaf said with the end of the agreement, the agency will have no access to nuclear facilities. Meanwhile, talking to newsmen, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, said he is in talks with Iran on extending the monitoring arrangement. The European Union has denounced a proposal by Myanmar's military junta-appointed election commission to dissolve deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi's party, the National League for Democracy. In a statement, a spokeswoman of the European Union's Executive Commission said if the election commission proceeds with this proposal, it would show yet again the military junta's blatant disregard for the will of the Myanmar's people and for due legal process. She said no repression or unfounded pseudo-legal proceedings can grant legitimacy to Janta's illegal takeover of power. And finally, the weather. Hot and dry weather is likely to prevail over most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind, thunderstorm is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Northeast Punjab, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.